welcome back to our Company of Heroes to 21st of June patch review for Wehrmacht this time. So, in the beginning, my opinion for all around changes, what is the focus of changes for Wehrmacht is to lower down the cost. So the Wehrmacht was it's type of faction which is hard to build up once it goes down. It's pretty tough, and they don't have much of utilities early game and to the mid game, but late game and from the late mid game they are pretty damn good. They are pretty damn good from the mid game to mid-late game. They're pretty damn good, but in the early period it's pretty hard to play as them because of that. If they are not able to capture a lot of points, then they won't do much later on, and they need to be pretty aggressive, especially with the MG42, and that's something which is difficult if you are not placing him nicely, and if enemy is outflanking you all the time, so you'll have a pretty tough time. So basically, what the idea for the Wehrmacht patch will be is to lower down the costs, so that some unutilized abilities and some units get used, and also to try to provide just a smaller a boost in Wehrmacht unit production capability for mid and late game units. So let's start immediately with Flame Half-Track. So this is something which wasn't almost never used. Why? Half-Track is pretty squishy, pretty easy to kill, and pretty fucking expensive to upgrade with a flamethrower. So people would rather create a Panzer Grenadier and upgrade him with Shreks than to get a flamethrower half-track, which in my opinion 120 ammo for the flamers is a waste of your ammo, to be honest. It would be better to get 2 light machine guns on your grenadiers. They'll do pretty much the same almost. So over here they reduced the cost from 120 to 90. His aim time a little bit will go down. So the garrison damage will go down as well, and the veterancy 3 cooldown bonuses now affects the flamethrower. So they're trying to lower down his cost and trying to boost him as a utility weapon, but we'll see how that will affect. I believe that people will still not use him much because 90 is still a high amount. I mean, when you compare it for the British carriage, which is I believe 70 or something like that, maybe even 60, this is not really that great, but we'll see. I mean, I cannot bullshit that 90 is too much still, but I mean, we'll see. I'm just speaking because how squishy it is, that I mean, even though that you upgrade it, and this upgrade is a little bit helpful, I still believe that it is way too squishy, and that even though that he has a good offensive capabilities, his defensive capabilities are still not high. I mean, especially with this upgrade for 50 cal, I mean, what the heck? It will be like a paper, it will just go down. So just get his armor, give him at least some armor skirts or something, just make him a little bit more durable, and that will be fine. So next, support armor corps. So as I told, so the cost is going down a little bit, so trying to help Wehrmacht players to get those tanks up a little bit faster, so that they can try to counter the other factions, especially the Soviet. Their T-70s, U-76s are pretty damn beasts, and just to make them a little bit more, let's say, in touch with other factions, because I mean, T-70, Stuart, those are all of the light tanks which, I mean, they can be produced pretty damn fast, and it's not easy to counter it. I mean, if you're, I mean, it's always people just keep saying, yes, you can counter it if you're smart. But I mean, that is if your enemy is dumb and you are smart. But if he is smart as well, he'll try to use the capabilities of his units to the maximum. So he will not just waste a fucking sword and let you Panzerfaust him twice and fire with a fucking AT and destroy it. He'll use the infantry, of course. He'll use the infantry to move forward, and he'll use his sword just to poke from range. And if he turns his AT, he'll move the sword back and just change the position or stuff like that. So it will definitely be interesting to see this armored corps. I believe it will provide some good help for Wehrmacht to counter these early stages of the Ally power. So the Brumbar, so they are decreasing the amount of resources needed for him, and because of his fat personality, he is moving really slowly. So what they give him is a heavy crush ability so that he can break the obstacles, which is pretty damn good. I mean, let's be honest, he is a pretty fat tank. I mean, just the amount of armor which he has on front, I believe it's 100mm sloped armor, is a huge amount. I mean, 100mm sloped armor. I mean, it's pretty damn tough for even the IS-2 to penetrate that successfully and do a lot of alpha damage to him. So it's a pretty damn heavy tank. His, let's say, AoE is increased, so he'll do a little bit more damage. His reload will go up a little bit, and hold fire is added to this tank. So yeah, we are seeing all of this being added. What I missed as well for the US is that their bulldozers, Sherman bulldozers, will have the ability to hold fire as well. So this will provide the Brumbar with the ability to, let's say, not be the first line of the battle when the battle starts, but rather as a support unit. Why do I say this? Well, because he is so heavy and he is so slow. Once the infantry comes forward, I mean, by the time you get a Brumbar, the enemy will have tanks, he'll have anti-tank guns, and if he is pushing with his infantry, he'll definitely will have some anti-tanks there as a support. So if your Brumbar fires immediately, the anti-tanks will immediately fire at him. So this way you can have that 3 seconds or 2 to see when the enemy is coming, to prepare your tank to fire, get him in position a little bit, and then fire. So not using him immediately, but rather trying to use this tank a little bit more as a support weapon, and let's say behind the first front line. So it will be definitely interesting to see how this ability will be used. Heavy Panzer Corps, oh yeah, so this will go down as well. So they are reducing the amount and the amount of resources needed for this really a lot. So 25 fuel and 60 manpower, that's a lot, but let's not forget that the tanks inside are not that cheap, and that you have to tack 3 times to get it. So you have to tack I believe 75 fuel and 100 or 200 manpower, and only then you can spend this amount. So 240 manpower and 60 fuel to be able to produce those tanks. So yeah, it's pretty good that they lowered this, because a lot of the Wehrmacht player would just ignore this because of the costs, and just build Stugs and Panzerforce as their main tank. So definitely trying to make players utilize the ability of this tier as well, and this will help a lot. This will help a lot for the Wehrmacht. Also, Panzerforce command tank will now be removed from the aura which he is giving. So before he would buff himself, so this time he will not get that buff. I think that's a little bit harsh. I would lower the aura for like 50 or even 60, maybe 75%, but you cannot lower that completely, because let's be honest, if he is a command tank and commander is in providing support for other units, I mean, it is dumb that, you can help others, but you cannot help yourself. That's a little bit questionable. So I don't think that this will be a great change. I mean, his damage and all the other stuff will pretty much stay the same. It's just that his durability and accuracy a little bit will go down. So I believe that they should leave his aura a little for him as well, but just in a little smaller scale. After that we have pioneers, which can now build the sandbags. But just one thing for Wehrmacht. Wehrmacht is the faction, actually the Germans as a whole, are the faction which don't have a settled charge. Why? And I'm mentioning this every single time. Why don't Wehrmacht have a fucking settled charge? I mean, how many documentaries did we saw when the German Reich started to fall down and when they started retreating back and they were destroying the bridges? How the fuck would they destroy a bridge if they didn't have it? They were fucking pros in creating settled charges and high explosives to destroy infrastructure and heavy structures and so on and so forth. I mean, it's pretty damn bad that they don't have a settled charge, and I think that Wehrmacht should get a settled charge. That would be pretty good. That would be pretty awesome. Because I mean, the Soviets are just spamming their fucking mines, and you don't even have a fucking settled charge. That's a bullshit. That's a bullshit right there. So now they can build sandbags. That's fine. Really great. So this will help. This will help utilize MG42 a little bit better. But just give them a fucking settled charge, please, please. Okay, now let's move forward. Bundle grenade. Oh yeah. Let's be honest. The bundle grenade was shit. It was shit. But it should be OP. It's a fucking grenade made out of 4 grenades. So it should be devastating to the infantry and the other support units. So I mean, they should be really powerful grenades and weapons against infantry and soft targets, but they weren't. They were so weak. So now we see that the bundle grenade will get all around upgrades. So this is awesome. I definitely love this, and this will help the Panzer Grenadier a lot. I definitely love this, and this will help the Wehrmacht a lot. So these bundle grenades, good job, good decision. So that will be all for Wehrmacht this time. I hope that you guys enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Leave the opinion down below. Tell me what do you think, especially tell me what you think about the settle charge for, not the settle charge, but the demo charge for the pioneers. Just tell me, what do you think about that? Because I honestly do believe that pioneers should get demolition charge. So thank you and see ya.